Regrettably, according to Black Enterprise, most of the businesses who are in this room will not live to see the second generation. They will not live to see the second generation, and we've seen it in our families over and over again. Your grandparents struggled hard to get the house. They stayed in that house for 40 years. Grandma dies, and somebody sells it. Yep. Because we don't have any mind frame of legacy building or wealth creation. And so Jesus comes through an entrepreneur who is young, who is strident, who is industrious, who is focused, because the church is not pressing him to get married. His family is pressing him to get married. He understands, in order for my business to thrive, I've got to have a foundational family life. The most critical thing that you can bring into your business is the right partner. Did you hear what I just said? The most critical thing that you can bring into your business is your partner. So he didn't choose just anybody. He chose somebody who had a prayer life. He chose somebody who was crazy and foolish enough to entertain the visitation of angels.
You better say it.
He brought somebody into his life who would partner with him in business, who understood the value of delayed gratification. She kept her virginity even though she was dating somebody who had money.
How?
And maybe you forgot, he's already got his own house at 17. So I need you to put all of that into the package. Then we are not reintroduced to Jesus until he's 12 years old. At 12 years old, Jesus goes missing, lost in the church. His parents finally catch up with him 3 days later, and watch what Jesus says to his parents. He says to them, "Don't you know I'm about my Father's," here's your key word, business. I need you to write that down, please.
We got
I'm
it.
about my Father's business.
You got it. It's already in you.
Now, business, according to Merriam-Webster, is anything that yields profit. Business is anything that yields a profit. I am about my Father's business. If you all claim that you all are doing business, but you are not yielding a profit, you are just operating a hobby. It is not business. Don't you know I'm about my Father's business? Isn't it amazing that Jesus is not selling t-shirts, he's not selling CBD, he's not selling weaves? Watch this. He understands. I need you to hear this very well. Don't you know I'm about my Father's business? Jesus is 12, and so Jesus understands at 12, I am the commodity. So anybody who comes into interaction with me doesn't understand I'm the investment. If any man be in Christ, he's a new creature. You have to understand your greatest asset is your testimony. Don't let people ask you what you bring to the table. Tell them you are the table. And everything has got to be built on the foundation of what it is that I've endured, what it is that I've experienced, and what it is that I've had to overcome. I teach this principle to preachers all over the country, and many of them can't handle it, but I'll give it to you today, and I think you've heard me say it once before, but it's worth repeating. Isn't it amazing that when Jesus goes to select the 12 disciples, when he goes to get the 12 disciples, he gets none of the 12 disciples from seminary. That's right. He gets none of the disciples from Bible college. I'm going to go a step further for 5 of y'all can handle it. He says, I'm going to get disciples, none of whom are ordained. He says, I am getting all of my disciples from business. Because if they can't do business, hear this, they're not fit for ministry. A lot of our churches are imploding because we put people in position for perfect attendance.
How?
Just because you can pray don't mean you should be a trustee.
better
tell
go
me
on.
some evidence. How are you doing business? I want you to see what happens in the draft when Jesus calls them into ministry. He says something very critical and very seminal that I need to impart to you this morning. He says to them, follow me, watch this, and I'll make you fishers of men.
Yes.
This is the very first thing that Jesus says to the disciples. Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. In other words, hear the language of the master to business people. If you follow me, I'm going to give you the principles to make other people follow you. When you are authentically connected to the oil of this house, if you are seeing people every Sunday join this church, in the same mass, people ought to be coming to your business. The Bible says that the oil flows from the head and comes down to the skirts of the robe. I am believing. Can you imagine this? I need you to personalize it. That in 1 year, we have taken in 4,000 members. Right? You are missing the point. Which means in a year, you should have 4,000 customers. All right? The same thing that's happening in this house should be happening in your business. Y'all are still slow. God is saying, watch what's happening to the ministry you are connected to. Just like I am chopping down the debt of this house, I am chopping down the debt of your house. Because if you follow me, come on, y'all wake up. If you follow me, something critical happens that I've got to give to you today that is so significant. Jesus says to Joseph, don't you know I'm about my Father's business? This is going to be jarring for many of you to conceptualize. And it is from that moment that Jesus says to his foster father, Joseph, don't you know I'm about my Father's business? It is at this moment that we never see Joseph again. Joseph don't even come to the wedding. That's the first miracle that Jesus performed. He don't even show up. I'm trying to help you as entrepreneurs is be prepared to be disconnected from family.
You're already doing it.
You're disconnected from people who you thought would be attached to you in the most critical moment of your life. And they are with you until they find out you about business. Come on, now there's some stuff you're going to play with, but when it comes to dealing with my business, I am serious about it. Why? Because my business is my call, it is my assignment, it is what God has given to me, it is my burden, and I understand everybody not going to get on board, but watch me be a success in spite of who believes it, who co-signs, and who gets on board. God is going to show me it's my business, not yours. Joseph shows up nowhere else. After Jesus declares in 12, I know what I'm going to do. I know what my assignment is. Theologians and historians argue that by the time that Jesus crucified, that Joseph has already died. So we can't even talk about it. There's a whole other discussion.